You'll hear a common phrase that states that acquiring new customers are 3 to 5 times more expensive than retaining current customers. And while I don't have the stats to validate that phrase, the practicality and value of retaining your current customers and making sure you can extract as much revenue from them, whether you're a direct-to-consumer, B2C, or even B2B company, makes a lot of sense. I do see a trend of a lot of businesses now focusing a lot more on retention than acquisition, which is an interesting shift. And as marketers, we really have the best vantage point in making that happen. We're literally the team that communicates directly with our customers. And in that sense, we can influence their decisions by our communications with them, whether that's through your website, mobile app, your email marketing campaigns, push or SMS notifications, or social media. So with my 8 years of experience in marketing, I can agree with the fact that acquiring customers, new customers more specifically, is a lot easier, especially if you have advertising budget to burn through. But I think there's a lot more value in retention if you're at that stage of the business where you have enough customers to validate doing that in the first place. So for example, you might be spending £100 to acquire a new customer. That's your CAC, your customer acquisition cost. And the overall revenue you can derive from this customer is £100, which is your LTV, lifetime value. As a business, you're just about breaking even. Whereas if you think of the retention and engagement play, you can potentially increase that £100 value you derive from that customer throughout their whole lifetime. And I do think, at least as of 2024, I'm seeing a lot of businesses do focus on retention because a lot of businesses are trying to survive. There's a lot more noise, right? There's a lot more competition. It's easier to start a business that can compete with a similar proposition as probably the business that you market for. So some of the principles I want to talk about really apply across every type of business model. There's a correlation there anyway, whether it's direct to consumer, business to consumer, or B2B. But let's break down the difference between customer retention and customer engagement. So customer retention refers to the activities, tactics, and strategies brands use to keep customers loyal and satisfied. So the aim of customer retention is really to reduce them from churning, right? Reduce your customers from leaving the platform or from stopping the use of that specific product or service. So there's more of a long-term relationship that you're trying to build with customer retention. Whereas with customer engagement, it's more of an ongoing interaction between you, the business, the company, and its customers across different channels, both online and offline. You're also building a relationship, but it's more about loyalty, which is a very hard metric to define, but loyalty is them sticking with you, is really engaging with your business, irrelevant of them spending with the business. Right. The customer retention's goal is really to strengthen the bond and the commitment between you and the customer, whereas customer engagement is more of re-engaging them in a sense that you're trying to ignite the fire and the interest over and over again. So customer retention equals marriage, customer engagement equals dating. So let's talk about some top-line customer retention and engagement strategies. And I'll start off with a strategy to think about before you even think about retention and engagement. It really starts from the beginning. The way you position your business and your brand really dictates the relationship with the customer with your business from the beginning. If you're positioned as a cheap, replaceable business, let's say that the products you produce aren't really different from what is out there in the competitive landscape, it's very likely they're going to move on to a more brand-led or mission-driven company. So as a marketer, you want to start thinking about ways to already influence the decision-making of a customers retaining before they even convert. First impressions do count, especially in business. So next is loyalty programs. So a lot of companies do this, especially on the direct-to-consumer / business-to-consumer side. So you can think of Starbucks. They have a loyalty program where if you buy enough drinks and you have their app, after a few visits, you can get a free drink. Amazon Prime also does this, right? Once you subscribe to their loyalty program, you get exclusive discounts, free delivery. You also get access to free digital streaming services like Amazon Music. And then finally, American Express. If you use their credit card you spend with them, you get points. You can exchange those points into potentially buying tickets or converting them into its monetary value for an exchange like a holiday or a physical experience. Next is positive reinforcement and referral loops. There's two sides to this. So with positive reinforcement, for every marketing output that you have, there needs to be a trigger that tells the user keep on going, right? You're trying to basically push someone to go from point A to point B. So a great task that does this is Asana. So whenever you finish a couple of tasks, you start ticking them off. There's a simple visual that congratulates you essentially. So that's a very simple example. On the feedback loop side, basically this is any form of action that has another post action included. So an example of this is if you've ever bought from a direct-to-consumer website, you're about to buy the product, and once you bought the product, you get an exclusive discount code or a link that you can share, and you can potentially get a reward from, like a referral scheme, for example. So that's a feedback loop. For every action, there's another post action that benefits the company. So next is brand-led marketing campaigns. So this highly correlates with the first point that I made about thinking of the brand and your proposition as a business. So brand-led campaigns is really heading into making sure that you're trying to capture culture with your business category, right? You're trying to dominate that industry and you become really the leader within that space. And part of that entails becoming more mission driven. And we're starting to see a lot more companies are becoming B Corp certified. And then part of being a brand-led company is making sure that your messaging across different channels are consistent. Your omni-channel output has a sense of unity to it. So a great company that does this is Apple, especially when they're releasing a new product. Across their website and PR campaigns, there's a sense of unity in terms of how that specific product is promoted. The next strategy is community. So community building is really, once you've acquired your customers, you want to be able to somehow create a community where they can all interact with each other. They can become brand advocates, and then start sharing your business to their network that are interested within the same product or services that you provide as a business. Next strategy is email marketing. So you want to be able to create email marketing campaigns that cater to specific audiences or behaviors within your business. So a very basic example would be you have an email marketing campaign for someone who signed up to your newsletter. You have another email marketing campaign for someone who's just onboarded to your SaaS or maybe just bought a product from you if you're an e-commerce based business. Another example is if they've actually churned, they've stopped using the product for a certain amount of days, you can reignite them and re-engage them through an email campaign trying to entice them back. Next few chapters are going to be much more focused on examples, and I'm going to just read through them. This can be applied through various different types of business models. We're going to start with direct to consumer. So one is post-purchase engagement tactics. Next is subscription models and personalized reminders. Next is, as mentioned previously, building a community around your brand, capturing culture, and this can be applied across B2C and B2B businesses as well. And then next is surprise and delight tactics. So a great brand that does this is Hotel Chocolat. Once you get their loyalty card, if you visit them physically, you will be asked to register. And when you register, you add your date of birth there. And once it comes to your birthday, you actually get £10 off voucher directly to your email, which you can use to apply to buy to their website. I think that's a really cool tactic there for direct-to-consumer businesses. And then moving on to B2C, first is gamification and a rewards program. So we've mentioned Starbucks and Amex, so those type of loyalty programs. Email and SMS nurturing. Next is if they've churned, being able to provide them exclusive offers to entice them to come back. Next is social media contests and potentially your customers to create content for you, and you can reward them back in tail. And that's a great feedback loop there. You're asking them to create content for you, you give them some sort of reward, and they promote your business to their network. And then closing off on B2C, another one is being able to partner with relevant businesses within your business category. And so this is about, again, going back to the concept of capturing culture and becoming the leader in your space. You might as well partner with similar businesses that your customers already engage with. Finally, let's talk about strategies for B2B businesses. First one is ongoing training and education, being able to provide that to your customers. A lot of ad networks are actually doing this already. Google, Meta, TikTok, AppsFlyer, Apple's even doing this for Apple search ads. Any way where you can educate your audience and at the same time get them to close the gap between them learning the platform and actually using it is a very smart strategy, especially for if you're a B2B SaaS. Next is strategic upselling and cross-selling where relevant. And then next is exclusive webinars and downloadable resources. Again, going back to the idea of being the leader in your category, you might as well provide reports and interesting case studies that relate to your business where your customers can find benefit. Next one is more for agencies, but could work for B2B SaaS companies as well. Quarterly business reviews, yearly planning. The goal is really to make it seem as if you're a legit business partner rather than the clients being seen just as a customer. you really want to grow their business. And then finally, exclusive events and networking opportunities. I'm seeing a lot more B2B companies start to do this, where they organize an event, not just for their clients, but for other potential external vendors or partners that they can work with. The main goal is to, again, re-engage your customers, re-engage your clients, but at the same time, potentially be the bridge between your clients, right? Build that network effect. Thank you for watching the video. Till next time, peace.